Sometimes the heart begins to reveal itself before words can catch up. Small gestures, glances held a little longer, spontaneous actions that seem to say everything without uttering a single phrase. When someone is just starting to fall in love, the body, the energy, and even the silences become messengers of deep feelings. Recognizing these signs can make all the difference in building a true conscious connection. Today we'll explore the subtleties that indicate he's beginning to be enchanted by you, revealing how the invisible language of affection manifests in surprising, authentic ways. Get ready to dive into nuances that aren't always obvious, but carry a universe of meaning. Leave in the comments the affirmation, "I deserve to be loved in a true and conscious way," and strengthen that energy in your life. In the realm of human relationships, Carl Jung offers a profound perspective that helps us understand the invisible process of emotional approach. When we talk about someone beginning to fall in love, we step directly into the territory of projection, one of the central concepts in analytic psychology. Projection occurs when internal feelings, often unconscious, are attributed to another person. Thus, when he starts to feel drawn to you, it's possible he's seeing in you qualities that resonate with his own inner ideal, a reflection of what he seeks for his own sense of completeness. Jung also teaches us about the shadow, unrecognized aspects of the personality that can emerge in relationships. When a man is falling in love, many of his unexpected behaviors, such as moments of vulnerability, mild jealousy, or protective gestures, are manifestations of this shadow-seeking conscious expression. Another fundamental concept is the process of individuation, the path toward integration and internal balance. The emergence of genuine feelings is an invitation to transformation, both for the one who feels and for the object of that affection. The relationship then becomes an opportunity for both parties to integrate the masculine and feminine aspects of the psyche, represented by the figures of the animus and the anima, in a natural movement toward wholeness. Through this Jungian lens, every gesture and every word carry a depth that goes beyond the obvious. Understanding this dynamic allows you not only to recognize signals of affection, but also to cultivate more authentic, conscious, and transformative encounters, where passion ceases to be a mere impulse and becomes a journey of self-discovery. At the outset of a romance, the signs that reveal the awakening of feelings are often so subtle they can go unnoticed. Yet these delicate gestures are laden with meaning and deserve your attention. One of the first indicators is the change in the way he looks at you. His gaze becomes more present, more attentive, as if every detail of who you are has suddenly gained new importance. It's not merely observing, it's truly seeing you, uniquely, as if the world around you momentarily fades away. Another telling sign is how he seeks closeness, even without any obvious reason. It might be through extended conversations, invitations to simple activities, or just his constant presence, as though just being near you is reason enough. The frequency and ease of these moments signal that something deeper is developing beyond friendship or casual companionship. Care also begins to show itself in nearly imperceptible ways. A comment about how you're doing, an unexpected act of kindness, a small favor done without prompting, these all point to a special attentiveness. His concern for your feelings, your needs, and even the small details of your day reveals that he's no longer indifferent to your emotions. Communication becomes another vehicle for these signs. His choice of words, his tone of voice, the pauses he takes in conversation, and even spontaneous smiles speak for themselves. When someone starts to fall in love, they tend to create spaces of emotional intimacy through dialogue, seeking not just to exchange ideas, but to forge deeper bonds based on active listening and genuine interest. Subtle touches are also powerful indicators. A light touch on your arm during a conversation, a slightly longer hug than usual, or even a simple brush of hands can carry emotional intensity that transcends the physical gesture. In many cultures, touch is a fundamental form of affectionate communication, and in the context of emerging passion, each touch conveys a silent but eloquent energy. Vulnerability that begins to surface in interactions is another key aspect. He may share small insecurities, speak about his dreams and fears, or tell stories that reveal a more sensitive, authentic side of his personality. This openness is one of the most precious signs, as it indicates trust and the desire to build a deeper emotional connection. Humor plays a special role too. Often, when someone is falling in love, they seek to make the other person laugh, to create moments of lightness and shared joy. Laughing together establishes a unique bond, easing tensions and fostering a sense of belonging. When he laughs easily with you, or goes out of his way to make you smile, he's unconsciously trying to strengthen the connection he already feels growing. Finally, time itself becomes a reflection of the interest that is forming. Prioritizing moments spent by your side, rearranging commitments just to see you, or showing discomfort at being apart for even short periods, all these behaviors unmistakably express a desire to get closer. Time, such a precious and limited resource, when given freely to someone, is one of the most genuine expressions of burgeoning feeling. Observing these subtle signals requires sensitivity and presence. More than interpreting each gesture in isolation, it's essential to sense the overall context and feel the energy that builds in your interactions. At the beginning of love, it sneaks in like a breeze, almost imperceptible, but for those who pay attention, impossible to ignore. In the early stages of passion, someone's gaze and presence become powerful instruments for expressing feelings yet unspoken. Long before words are exchanged or declarations made, the eyes reveal what the heart quietly begins to whisper. When a man starts to fall in love, his look changes in quality. It becomes more focused, more lingering, often blending admiration and tenderness in a way that's hard to conceal. This kind of gaze doesn't just observe appearances, it strives to capture your essence. It's as if he's trying, through his eyes, to understand deeper layers beyond the surface. Often, this look emerges in spontaneous moments, when you're distracted, laughing, or even in silence. In those instances, the sentiment shines through most purely, because it's neither controlled nor rationalized, it's simply felt. Beyond the gaze, the way he shows up says a lot about his feelings. Presence in this context isn't merely physical, it's fundamentally emotional. He will be attentive, engaged, and connected to the present moment whenever he's with you. His listening becomes active, his interest genuine, and his desire to be part of your life starts to show through seemingly small, intentional actions. He will remember details from past conversations and show sincere curiosity about your experiences and emotions. The energy of presence also reveals itself in how time together feels. Minutes may feel like seconds when there's a true connection. Time shared takes on an almost magical quality, as if an energetic field forms between you, shielding that moment from the rest of the world. No matter where you are or what you're doing, simply being together becomes enough. This interplay of gaze and presence at the start of a romance carries a mystery that Jung described in his reflections on the human soul. He spoke of the reunion of internal polarities, the masculine and the feminine, the conscious and the unconscious, that find their mirror in another person. A passionate look often signifies the silent recognition of that deep correspondence, a signal that something within him is drawn to something within you. This magnetism feels almost instinctive. The urge to see you, to be near you, to share moments intensifies without him always knowing why. In some cases, he may even try to resist or hide it, but the brightness in his eyes and the consistency of his presence betray his true feelings. In these early moments, non-verbal language speaks louder than any explicit declaration. The way he leans in during conversation, how his body naturally orients toward you even in a crowded room, or how he notices and adapts to your reactions. All of this forms a silent dance of emotional approach. It's important, however, to remember that the power of gaze and presence manifests authentically, not forced. When the feeling is genuine, there's no need for strategizing or games. There's only a sincere openness, a natural desire to be together, to participate, to know. And that authenticity is palpable in the air, turning every encounter into a small celebration of what's blossoming between you. Paying attention to someone's gaze and the quality of their presence is, therefore, a way to access the most honest dimension of the feelings forming. Long before any label or definition, it's through these small yet significant gestures that love begins to write its story. When a man starts to fall in love, many of his unconscious behaviors begin to betray what his heart hasn't yet dared to declare. These spontaneous manifestations are often more authentic and revealing than any planned words. In analytic psychology, Jung explains that much of what we feel and do is governed by unconscious content, and in the dynamics of passion, this becomes all the more evident. One of the most common unconscious behaviors is a change in body language. Without realizing it, he begins to mirror your gestures, replicating postures or synchronizing movements. This phenomenon, known as mirroring, is a clear indicator of emotional connection. Additionally, his posture tends to open up when he's by your side. Shoulders relax, chest faces you, signals that he feels comfortable and craves closeness. Another unconscious behavior is the desire to impress. Even if he won't admit it, he'll subtly try to showcase his qualities, talents, and achievements. Casual mentions of personal accomplishments, stories of overcoming challenges, or discreet references to special abilities emerge naturally as almost instinctive attempts to be admired by you. It's not arrogance, but a basic human need to be recognized and accepted by the object of one's affection. Jealousy may also surface in a veiled way. Without overt demonstrations, he might change his tone of voice or his facial expression when he notices your attention drifting to someone else. These subtle yet perceptible signs reveal that your value to him has already moved beyond the level of ordinary friendship and begun to touch more sensitive areas of the heart. Protective care is another unconscious attitude that intensifies. He'll worry about your safety, your comfort, your well-being. He'll pay attention to details that others might overlook. If you're cold, if you need help with something, if you look tired. This meticulous attentiveness stems from the genuine desire to see you well and safe. Humor ramps up too, with the goal of creating moments of ease and happiness together. Jokes, playful teasing, and efforts to provoke your laughter become more frequent. Beyond mere fun, these moments represent unconscious attempts to build positive memories by your side, because the unconscious knows that emotional bonds are strengthened through joy and camaraderie. He'll also tend to remember little details you've shared. He'll recall your favorite book, your dog's name, a comment you made about a rough day. These memories aren't stored as rational effort, but as emotional imprints, signaling that, deep down, he already considers you a significant part of his inner world. Another indicator is a shift in priorities. Even unconsciously, he'll start reshuffling his schedule, making concessions, and opening up time in his routine to include you. It's not out of obligation, but because your presence becomes desired, almost necessary, for his emotional well-being. Emotional intensity also shows in involuntary reactions. Small signs like blushing, slight stammering, or appearing more nervous in your presence reveal that he's emotionally stirred in ways he can't always control or hide. These subtle behaviors are powerful indicators that the feelings taking root are genuine and deep. Recognizing these unconscious manifestations is like deciphering a secret language. They speak of a truth that the individual himself may not yet be ready or willing to admit. From a Jungian perspective, these signs are expressions of the self-seeking integration and wholeness through the experience of love. Each gesture, each look, each involuntary word is a silent invitation for you to enter his inner world and join the transformative journey that these feelings initiate. Thus, observing these behaviors with patience, attention, and sensitivity is a way of honoring love's natural process as it unfolds in the invisible field between two people. At the beginning of any relationship, vulnerability is one of the most genuine and powerful signs that love is starting to take root. When a man allows himself to be vulnerable in front of someone, he is, in truth, offering something rare and precious: his trust. Carl Jung teaches us that vulnerability is a gateway to the unconscious, a sign that the ego's defenses are softening to allow a deeper, more authentic connection. As he falls in love, he will, almost without realizing it, begin to reveal parts of himself he ordinarily keeps protected. He might share insecurities, speak of old fears, or open up about dreams he hasn't yet dared to pursue. This revelation isn't planned or always clearly verbalized. It emerges organically, as a silent act of surrender. He begins to trust that he'll be understood and embraced, even in parts he considers imperfect. Vulnerability also shows in moments of uncertainty, when he hesitates, shows nervousness, or admits he doesn't know how to act in certain situations with you. He's shedding the armor of self-sufficiency to let his feelings guide his actions. This behavior is profoundly human and signals that the relationship has transcended surface level, moving into a more sincere emotional realm. Another aspect is asking for help or advice. When a man seeks your opinion on important decisions, he reveals not only that he values your perspective, but also that he sees you as a source of support and wisdom. This act of seeking guidance demonstrates emotional humility and shows he no longer needs to prove his strength constantly. Instead, he finds strength in being authentic with you. Spontaneous acts of affection, especially in public or vulnerable moments, are yet another clear sign. a comforting gesture during a tough conversation, a tight hug in a moment of sadness, or a knowing glance when he feels out of place. All of these reveal he no longer fears showing emotions in your presence. In analytic psychology, these gestures are manifestations of the self permitting itself to appear in its purest form when it recognizes a safe space. Equally important is how he handles his own mistakes in front of you. Rather than becoming defensive or trying to hide his faults, he tends to admit imperfections, offer sincere apologies, and seek to make amends. This behavior evidences emotional maturity and a commitment to building a genuine bond, one where the image of perfection gives way to authenticity. The courage to share his most painful experiences, losses, regrets, and inner struggles is among the most significant gestures of vulnerability. These stories don't emerge casually. They arise when the heart trusts it will be welcomed, not judged. Sharing these parts of his past invites you to know not only who he is in the present, but also the journey that shaped him. Another subtle sign is his willingness to be emotionally influenced. He may begin changing certain habits, reconsidering old convictions, or making room for new experiences that resonate with you. It's not about losing himself, but about allowing the relationship to naturally enrich and transform him, recognizing that love is also a process of mutual growth and adaptation. In this context, vulnerability is far more than a weakness. It's an expression of deep inner strength. It takes courage to remove social masks and show oneself in essential humanity. It's in this delicate territory that true love finds room to flourish, for only where authenticity exists can real connection grow. By noticing and honoring these acts of vulnerability, you become the guardian of a sacred space, where love can take root with strong, enduring roots. It's in this field opened by trust and mutual surrender that a relationship blossoms beyond appearances, touching the soul in a unique, transformative way. The journey of discovering the signs that herald the birth of genuine feeling reveals much more than mere behaviors. It invites us to delve into the complexity and beauty of the human unconscious. Recognizing the silent language of the gaze, the quality of presence, unconscious attitudes, and vulnerability opens us to perceive the other in their most authentic essence. As analytic psychology teaches, every gesture and every emotion are manifestations of an internal search for integration and meaning. Understanding these signs is not just a way to anticipate love, it's also a way to welcome it with maturity and consciousness, respecting the time and depth of each heart. True love's flowering happens when there is room for the genuine expression of feelings, without masks or defenses, just the full offering of who we are. If you want to build deeper, more meaningful relationships, start today by observing with an open heart and valuing the small, significant gestures that speak of love before words ever arrive. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and watch the next video that's appearing on the screen. The transformation you seek in your relationships begins with the awareness you cultivate now.